Let's go down and create a new function that is going to do this work for us, so our code will remain clean. Say private func, and this is going to be called create location, and we're going to pass a line here, and the line is going to be array of string. And it's array of string because this is what our line represents, array of strings that contains 3 string objects. So let's call this create location, and I'm going to pass my line here, and our code remains nice and clean. Let's just remove some empty lines here, and we move on to our new function. So what we need to create a location, weather location. I can say let weather location is equals, and we need to get weather location, and of course it will not do the autocomplete for us. Let's go to our weather location here and say weather location, and just grab this so we can have the autocomplete here. And the city name, remember from our array, is the first object in our array. So we say line, and this is the object number 0, or I can say line dot first, and I need to unwrap this because it's an optional. So the first object of our array is our city name. The country is our second object, so I can say line, and since there is no second object, we need to put a 1 here, and because it's a 0-based array, number 1 is the second object in our array. Here instead of first you can just have like 0. But I'm going to keep it first. And the country code is the third object. In our case, it's the last object of our array. So instead of saying line dot to, I will write line dot last, and this will be our last object in our array. And is it current location? We're going to say false because our current location cannot be here and we don't want to set it there. Okay, so we created our weather object. What else we want to do? We have this array of all locations, so we want to take this weather location and put this inside our all locations array. So I can say all locations dot append, and then I can say my weather location. So this will be our code to create a location from the line and to append it to our current array. Or else what we can do to make this one-liner is, instead of having a constant and then adding this to our array, I can just cut this and put it here. We can get rid of this code here. So whenever we come, say all locations append, and first we do whatever is inside our parentheses. So we create a weather location object, and then we append it to our all locations array. So this is our create location code. And what I want to do to check if this actually works, I'm going to say print, and I'm going to print all locations dot count, so we can see how many actually objects we have in our array. So if I rerun, we should get our print, and then our code will crash because of the table view. Let's go up and see how many objects we have. Okay, we have 23,524 locations in our array, which is quite a big one. Okay, so let's stop this, and let's go back to our choose locations. So what I want to do is just to get rid of all these errors. We are going to make sure that our table view, data source and table view delegates are set. So let's just get rid of empty space. After my file is done, I'm going to put an extension, and this will be extension to our ChooseCity view controller, and the extension is going to conform to UI table view delegate and UI table view data source table. And here we need to have at least 2 required functions, but we are going to have actually 3 of them because we want to be notified whenever our user clicks on any of the arrays, so any of the cells here. So if I search for any of the name, whenever I click, I want to be notified. So this will be added to my current arrays. So let's write the code for it. First, we have a number of rows in section which is required, and here simply we have to return, and instead of returning how many objects we have inside our all locations, what I want to return, because we are not going to show all the locations, only the ones that are search result match. So we are going to return filtered locations.count. And then we have a cell for a row at index path function. And here we need to return a table view cell. So let's create one. If I say let cell is equals to table view, and we are going to dequeue reusable cell with identifier for index path. And the cell identifier is gonna be cell index path. I'm going to copy this index path and paste it here, just to make sure if our identifier is set correctly. Let's go to our main storyboard, select our table view cell here, open the sidebar and check if we have an identifier. In my case, I don't have, so I need to say set it here. And this is case sensitive. Make sure whatever you put here is exactly the same thing you have it here, otherwise your application will crash. So we have our table view cell. What we are going to do is to return it, and now our errors will disappear. And the last function I need is actually did select let's see, where is it? We need a table view. Did select row at index path. Wait a minute. I have a top bar delegate here. It's my pet. UI table view delegate. That's why we didn't get this. So if I say did select, we are going to get our required function. Let's just command build. Did select row at index path. So in our did select row at index path, we want to have the function whenever we touch our table view cell to save this location, which we are going to do later. Let's just say save location. Okay, this is it for this lecture. In our next lecture, we are going to write the functionality for our search bar to work, because right now we cannot search anything. But just to quickly run my code to see if we don't have any errors, our application shouldn't crash this time. Okay, we have our table, we don't have our search bar, we will put it in a minute.